Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's get started with our warm-up here. So nice and easy. Let's do a little side to side step here, a little tap, and let's reach out across the body. Just getting the body warmed up, the blood pumping, getting the synovial fluid in the joints, greasing up the joints, bringing some heat and warmth, oxygen, blood flow to all the muscles and joints and connective tissues. And just kind of reaching around. We'll go for about another minute and 20 seconds. Just enough to barely start breaking a sweat at the end. Just get the body ready for activity. All right, switch to a little bit of a knee bend, some bicep curls. Whatever motions and movements you need to do to get your body warmed up, whatever pace. But again, this is not a cardio. We're not looking to raise the breathing and heart rate a lot, just enough to get the body warmed up. Always remember breathing. Good posture. We got about 30 seconds. All right, so tapping across. Let's go straight up in the air with the hands. And open those elbows out a little bit. So now palms are forward. There you go, looking good. Keep it up. 5 more seconds. All right. And of course, at any time, you could always pause the video and warm up longer if you need to. All right. So first one we got is a goblet squat. So you'll need a dumbbell or kettlebell or, bag of sugar or something. Whatever you have that you can hold close to your chest with both hands. That can give you a little bit extra weight and resistance for your body. All right. So goblet squat. If you're holding a dumbbell like this, kind of on one of the bells, you're going to go close to the chest, not holding it away from the body, close to the chest, hands together, nice and wide with the feet, okay, hip to shoulder width apart, maybe even wider than a regular squat. And then we're just going to take a seat, low as you can go comfortably, and back up. All right, toes are going to flare out slightly, and you're going to take a seat, sticking your rump out. Think about if you had a tail and somebody was pulling it. All right, your weight's on your heels and on the arches of your feet. How low you go is up to you. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be to get back up. Keep it comfortable. We got about 28 seconds. Head and chest are going to face forward. Head is going to be neutral. Remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. And as you stand up, thrust those hips forward. Low back stays straight. All right, take a break there. Nice job there. So again, how low you go is up to you. Really making sure that as you do that, the knee stays above the shoelace area, that you're not going like this, okay? Not like this, but like this. Really sticking your rump out as if you're going to sit down on a chair, okay? We got about 10 more seconds. Let the burning subside from the thigh muscles. Here we're working the major thigh muscles in the front, quadriceps, gluteus maximus, major large muscle in the rump. Those are the kind of the major movers there. Let's get in here, try it again. And then we're getting muscles in the low back and spine, abdominals, chest, shoulders, arms, having to do just a little bit of work to hold this or whatever you're holding. Muscles along the back of the thigh, sides of the hips, everything having to stabilize. Keep it comfortable. No pain. Go as low as you feel comfortable. There you go. Looking straight ahead. All right. Nice job. Okay. So getting rid of the dumbbell and grab your resistance tubing or your band, whatever you're using. All right, I've got some resistance tubing I'm using. I'm going to do chest press with protraction. Okay, so this is going to go around the back and up about the height of your armpits. Okay, chest height just below the armpits. I'm not going to use the handles on this one. They're you know, little long. If I try to use the handles, I want to get some resistance. So if I grab back a little further away, I'm going to get more resistance. Okay. If I grab closer to the handles, I'm going to get less resistance. So play around and find the kind of resistance that works for you. So again, good posture, up nice and tall, and we're going to push straight out. Bracing the core, bracing the abdominals. Those hands are going away from the body, right at about chest, shoulder height. If you need to adjust as you, you know, if that band moves at all. So what we'll do is we're going to add a little protraction of the shoulder blades. So now as we go out as far as we can, now I'm going to add an extra little stretch, a little pop. So as far as I can, and then a little stretch. And then I can come back. Everything comes back, out, a little pop, everything comes back. And try as best you can to relax the shoulders. All right, take a break there. Trying to relax the shoulders, not hunch up if you can. Again, bracing those abdominals. Whatever stance gives you good support and stability. Here we're working chest muscles. We're working front part of the shoulder and the deltoid. We're working the backs of the upper arms, the triceps. And then we're getting some serratus anterior when we protract, when we push out and let those shoulder blades come apart as we stretch out. All right. Okay, so in position again. Let's try another minute. That extra little stretch, then everything back. Push out, extra little stretch, and back. Remember how, where you put your hands will determine how tough this is, how much resistance you'll get. And of course, your band, if you've got tougher rubber bands, stiffer, thicker, use those if you want more resistance, or adjust where your hands are grabbing those rubber bands here. Excellent. About 10 seconds. And as always, breathing. All right, well done, nice job there. Okay, so we got a bent over row that we're gonna use, so keep your resistance tubing or band, whatever you're doing. Okay, and I'm gonna drop one on the ground, come back a little further, let's see what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'm gonna step on the band, opposite leg, opposite hand, okay? Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna hinge forward slightly, stagger my stance, and I want a little bit of resistance to start with. So I'm going to get a little bit of pull. Once I get a little bit of pull, then I'm going to work on doing a little bit of rowing across the body here. Okay. That foot is out in front of me, kind of a lunge step. Bringing that elbow back. Hand is going to end up right at kind of the mid part of the ribs. Think about bringing your elbow back and squeezing that shoulder blade towards the center of your spine. How far you lean over is up to you. The more you can lean forward, the better this will be. You'll be a little more in line with the anchor point here. So low back is having to do some work. Most of my weight is on this front leg. Back leg is taking some weight to support. Palm is facing in towards me. And then head and chest are just, following the same direction, kind of facing down and forward. If I want, I can bring that elbow out away from the body slightly and turn that palm more back instead of in. All right, take a break there. What I'll do is I'll switch arms here. You can switch at any time, or you can, shoot for a minute and then switch arms. Up to you. Where I stand, of course, will determine the resistance. If I stand back here, it's all the way up here before I'm getting a little resistance. So these handles, quite long with the handles. If you don't have handles, you're going to step out probably further away. But this handle takes up another 6-7 inches. So I've got to step closer. A little bit of, when I'm bent over, I want to get a little bit of resistance to start with. There we go, that'll work. All right, here we are. Again, enough weight on that band that it's not going to pop out from under your foot and swing up at you. So keep some good weight on that band. You can add a little bit of torso rotation if you want to. But again, try to keep bent forward, hinged forward from the hips. That low back is straight, not rounded out. You're just hinging from the hips. Elbow goes back. Squeeze that shoulder blade towards your spine. Work on the postural muscles, upper back. We'll work on the back of the shoulder, rear deltoid. We'll get some bicep on the front of the upper arm. Kind of the opposite of the chest press that we just did. All right, nice job. Well done there. Okay, let's get rid of the band. We've got a cardiovascular here up next. So we're just going to spike our cardio for, about 2.5 minutes or so. We got a transition of about 30 seconds. So great time to grab some water or make sure your space is clear, that you've got a good full arm's width all around you, at least of space for movement, if not more. Or you can, you can just get going right away if you want a little bit longer cardio. We got about 13 seconds officially, but I'll start up a little earlier here. Remember to have water on standby, water bottle, glass of water, whatever you have. So the cardio, very similar to our warm-up. We got about 2 minutes and 22 seconds here, except a little more intense, a little faster, a little bit longer period. We want to actively get your heart rate up and your breathing up. We want your muscles having to work a little bit more, doing some endurance. Heart rate wise and intensity, think about if you can talk like I'm talking without being, too out of breath that you can't, then you're okay. That's about where you want to be for your intensity, how hard you're working. If you're so out of breath that you can't talk like I'm talking now, then you probably just need to slow up a little bit, little easier on the movements, a little slower. Now on the opposite side, if you can sing, if you can go out and sing nice and loud right now pretty easily, then you probably need to work a little harder. You really shouldn't be able to sing, but you should be able to talk. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of bicep curl again like we did in warm-up. You can follow along with what I'm doing or anything else. If you've got dance moves you want to do, or maybe you've done aerobics classes before, or maybe you've got a rowing machine or a bicycle or elliptical machine right in the same room, jump on that for 2.5 minutes. Walking up and down stairs, jump rope. All right, back to some easy marching. Low impact, if you're having impact issues with stomping around, or maybe you've got people under you that don't want to hear you stomping, you could always do this sort of stuff. Just lifting up the heels as opposed to the toes. A little lighter on the impact. Otherwise, just a good march. How high is up to you? Let's go a wide march. Keep moving, always moving consistently and narrow. That's what we're looking for, is just consistent movement. We're spiking this heart rate up. We'll hit another couple strength exercises. It may die down, the heart rate, and then we spike it back up. And narrow. A couple more seconds. Let's finish off wide. All right, well done. Okay, we'll get to the next one here. So the next one is called scaption. This is gonna be for the shoulders and shoulder blade area again. So grabbing some smaller dumbbells. You can sit or stand with this one, up to you. So if you're standing, I'll do the standing one here. Feet about hip width apart, a nice stable stance. Abdominals are nice and tight. Okay, I'm gonna brace my core. What I'm gonna do is bring my arms up to about parallel to the floor and then back down to the hips. So as I go up, I'm about 30 or 40 degrees to the side here. I'm not straight in front of me, and I'm not out to the side. I'm right in the middle here at about 40 degrees. Anywhere between 30 and 45 degrees. Elbows are straight. I'm just going up, to the height of my shoulders, maybe a little bit higher. Palms are facing in with these dumbbells. Nice and controlled, especially on the way down. You don't want to swing your arms or get any momentum. You don't want to swing your hips. You want this to be nice and controlled. Relax the shoulders, breathe. Head is neutral. And just kind of play around with the angle. Slightly wider, slightly narrower, but anywhere, around that 30 to 45 degree angle. Less than 10 seconds. We're getting front deltoid mostly, some middle deltoid. We're getting some stabilization of the shoulder blades and shoulders. All right, take a break there. Shake those arms out, get those shoulders feeling good. Burning a little bit. And that burning goes away when you stop moving. That's pretty natural. No pain, no discomfort. A little bit of burning, which again goes away when you stop moving. That's fine. That's what we're looking for. Some fatigue, maybe a little bit of shaking. Maybe the rest of your body's working really hard to keep steady while you do that. That's okay. That's what we're looking for. But no pain, no, loud cracks and grinding noises, that sort of stuff. All right, so in position again. Let's start up again. So I'm doing a pelvic tilt. thrusting my hips forward slightly, clenching my cheeks together on the rear. That straightens out that low back, and then I tense my abdominal muscles, and that holds everything nice and steady for the torso and hips. And then I've got just the shoulders doing the work. Shoulder blades are stabilizing. Looking good there. Nice and easy and controlled. If you start to get tired and swing those arms or start to bend those elbows, then just relax and take a break. You can always switch to alternating, one arm at a time. You don't have to do them both at the same time. If you tire out, just switch to alternating. All right, nice job. Well done there. Okay, so get rid of your dumbbells, and we need your chair and your resistance tubing or band again. All right, so sitting on the first half of the chair, the front half of the chair, so that you have some room to lean back a little bit if you want to, okay? And I'm gonna sit a little more to the right side of the chair. So this one, we're gonna lean back slightly to engage the abdominal muscles. I want you to loop the band around your arch, and you're gonna straighten the knee and flex the thigh muscle and hold. Now, the inside hand is going to hold and be the anchor along with your foot. The outside hand with your palm facing in is going to pull back. Okay, so while you lean back slightly, keeping this knee straight, toes pointed up, you're going to bring your hand back to the bottom of your ribs, right on the outside of between your bottom of your rib and your hips, and elbow goes back. Squeeze that shoulder blade towards your spine. Nice and easy. Try to keep fairly, even pressure on both hands and band. Keep that knee straight. If you need to, you can sit upright and just lower that foot to the ground. That's a modified version of this. That way you're still anchoring this band. You can take a break there. You're still anchoring the band, but you're not having to do as much work in the thigh and the leg. It's not pulling on your, on your knee. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll switch sides. I'm going to slide to my left just a little bit. Loop this around. Keep that thigh nice and tight. Straighten that knee. I'm going to lean back, anchor with my inside hand, and then the outside hand is going to do the rowing and pulling. So we're getting some middle and upper back. We're getting back part of the shoulder. Okay, back part of the shoulder. We're also getting a little bit of bicep in the front of the upper arm. And then abdominal muscles are stabilizing and working. Hip flexors in the front of the hip are having to do some work. Quadricep in front of the thigh is doing quite a bit of work to hold that knee out and flex the thigh muscle. Keep it comfortable. And again, try not to let that toe roll to the side at all. Keep it straight. And if you need to, if you need to change it and do it with the foot down, that's fine too. Again, whatever works for you, for your body. You could always take breaks. Lean back and do a couple of these, and then bring your foot down on the ground, do a couple. Again, whatever works. Keep breathing. Good posture. All right, nice job there. Well done. Okay, so let's get rid of the rubber band, but we're going to keep the chair. All right. Grab a quick sip of water. All right, so this one here, we're doing, it's a chair plank and a downward dog yoga pose. So leaning forward, hands on the outside of the chair is right above the leg, making sure that chair is not going to tilt on you. So it all kind of depends on the chair you have, the floor. I've got my chair on a mat too, so it's not going to slip or slide. So being careful that, if it's on a slick surface, that this chair isn't going to move or tilt or tip on you. Be careful with that. So now what I'll do is I'm going to walk my feet backwards. I'm going to bring my hips forward and plank. so that my hands are right below my shoulders. Hold for a couple seconds, and then I'm going to switch my weight back to my feet and just stretching out the back of the thighs, my low back. My shoulders are getting stretched, upper back. A couple seconds, 5 or 6 seconds, and then back. Lower those hips. Try to get, as stable as you can. Don't let those hips sag, but you don't want those hips too high up. So try to figure, find just the right part, and adjust your feet if you need to keep those hands, right above your shoulders, or I'm sorry, right below your shoulders. And now I'm going to switch. Getting a good stretch out. Hamstrings are having to do a little bit of work holding you. All right, take a break there. And then back forward, okay? So you're switching your weight, onto your hands into that plank position where arms and shoulders and chest are having to do some work along with abdominals in that plank and low back. And then we're switching into that downward dog yoga position where we're getting a stretch of the back of the thighs, the rump, the low back, upper back and shoulders are getting some stretch on that, okay? So back and forth, how long you hold on each one is up to you. Again, making sure that chair is steady. All right, so let's get back in position again. I'll bring my feet back, and I'll start with that plank. You can hold that position. It's okay for the heels to come up off the ground during the plank. Head stays neutral, and breathing. Switching to that downward dog. Just a good stretch there. Good 5 seconds at least. Switch the other direction. And again, good 5 seconds if you can. And breathing. Nice and controlled and slow. This is basically kind of a modified plank and downward dog instead of doing it on the floor. All right, nice job there. Well done. Okay, so let's get rid of your chair, clean up your spot. We have another cardiovascular. So I'm going to move this back out of the way. Grab some water if you want to. I'll get moving right away. We got about a 26 more second transition. So you can get going right on cardiovascular. Or, grab some water, catch your breath, whatever you need to do. So I'm crossing over. So I'm rotating my forearms and arms up. Thumb goes up and back, and then in. Again, you can do what I'm doing or something else. Throw some music on in the background, something that's a little faster paced, 128, 130 beats per minute, that sort of stuff. Get you going on the cardios. I'm going to switch here. A little bit of an uppercut punch, up and across my body. Not ferocious or anything, just consistently moving. You may go a little faster than I'm going, you may go a little slower. It all depends on the kind of workout your body needs. All right, let's do some forward taps with the feet and some jab punches forward. Best you can, shoot for good posture. Got about a minute and 15 seconds left. Looking good there. I'm going to go back to a regular march. If you want a lower impact march, just keep those toes on the ground the whole time and just march the heels. If you need to be quieter or you want a low impact for the joints, otherwise, raising those feet up off the ground. How high of a march is up to you. And you can go, let's go wide march. Working the outside of the hips a little more on this. And squat down a little. And stand. Bend those knees and squat a little. And stand. Let's go back to narrow march. Keep those arms moving. And wide. About 20 seconds left. And narrow. And wide. And let's get back into a squat and hold that. Keep going. 3 seconds. All right. Nice job there. Well done. Okay. We got our next one here. So circle, shrugs, and heel raises. So you'll need dumbbells again for this. 2 dumbbells. All right. So I'll show you what we're doing. So circle shrug, we're going to let the arms dangle at your sides with the dumbbells in the hands here. And we're going to make a circle. So kind of forward, up, and back, and down. This is all in the shoulders and hunching. Elbows are just straight, just letting the arms dangle. And we're going forward, up, back, and down. All right, so let's begin. And what we can do is add the heel raise to it. This is going to take a little work on balance. So nice and slow up on my toes, around. And then as my hands come down, then I go back down too. So as I go up on the heels, around. You can also switch. So I can go backwards, up, and forward with the shoulders. So the circles can be forward or backwards. And then wherever you feel comfortable, getting that heel raise in. Or you can do it separately. Up to you. Whatever's comfortable for your balance, for your coordination. We got about 10 seconds. Let the arms just dangle. Wrists are straight. This is all in the shoulders. Neck and head are just looking forward. All right, take a break there. I'm going to give my grip a rest. So we're working upper trapezius between the neck and shoulder. Okay, we're getting calf muscles from the heel raise. All right, just go, as high as you can on those toes. Working the calf muscles, and then either forwards or backwards with that shoulder circle, the shrug circle there, okay? Getting some work, of course, holding those dumbbells, so forearms and grip are getting some work. Kettlebells, dumbbells, whatever you're using. I'll do the side here. So I'm gonna go forward and up and down. Let's begin again. Forward, up, and then as you go back with the shoulders, squeeze those shoulder blades together towards your spine. Feet are a good, hip width apart. Keep your balance. If you need to do one arm at a time and hold onto a chair or a wall or something, you can do that. Or just take the shrugs and the heel raises apart and do them separately. Nice and controlled. Shrug up as high as you can, keeping your neck and head facing forward. All right, nice job. Okay, so next we're going to need your chair. I'm sorry, no, we're not going to need a chair. You're going to need a wall or a door and 1 dumbbell, okay? So wall sit, you can do this on a door or a wall, any place that you have a little bit of room for your body. Now what you want to make sure is that it's solid, of course, especially if it's a door. Make sure it's not something that can open accidentally, or someone that can, coming in, behind you can open the door, all right? You want to make sure that it's not going to move. So same thing with the feet. I want to make sure, I've got hardwoods here, so I want to make sure I've got tacky shoes that aren't going to slip out and have me land on my rear. All right, so what I'll do is I want to sit down, and it's just a small wall sit, but you want your feet out in front of you far enough that when you sit down, your knees are above those shoelaces. You don't want your heels against the wall, and then you bend those knees, and the knees go forward past the toes. Your hips and low back are going to be on the wall, maybe your shoulders and shoulder blades, it's up to you, but you're gonna squat down, and then as you hold that position, we're going to stir a big pot of soup. So use that dumbbell with both hands at about chest height, and you're just gonna stir a pot of soup, clockwise, counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. It can be a small pot, or it can be a large pot, where maybe even your torso rotates slightly as you do this. And then if you need a break, stand up and get back into position, kind of slide down that wall, and then hold that position. However, how low you want to sit is all up to you. All right, we can take a break there. How low you sit is all up to you. Just make sure that number one, whatever you're sitting and leaning against is solid. Again, doors closed, nice and solid, or if you can do it on the other side of the door that pushes against the jamb, even better. Something that's not, then nobody can open it or come in from behind if you're using a door. And then of course, floor too. All right, if my shoes and the floor are a little slippery, the possibility of the shoes slipping out and landing on your rear. So really making sure that those feet are not going anywhere when you're sitting in this position, however deep it is. And then of course making sure that the feet are out in front of you far enough that when you sit down, however deep you go, the knees are lining up with the shoelaces and not going forward past the toes. All right, so let's get going again. Too much talking here for me. All right, so about 35, 36 seconds here. So again, you might try, okay, I'm going to do 5 circles in each direction and then stand up and give the legs a break and then sit again. It's all up to you. But we're getting some shoulder, some deltoid work here. We're getting some arm work, and then we're getting a lot of thighs and glutes in the rear. Abdominals and low back having to stabilize, hamstrings. So just keep moving that dumbbell around like you're stirring a big pot of soup, round and round. All right, well done. Okay, so we're gonna need, get rid of the dumbbell, and you'll need your resistance tubing again. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a bicep curl. So I'm gonna stand with my heel, or on the arch or whatever, on that, just like we did for the those what did we do? There we go. We did those side bends where we had it tight. So now a bicep curl here. So you can have the palm facing forward, or it can rotate in facing your body and then rotate forward and up as you curl. So we're just going to bend that elbow and let it straighten. Bend fully and straighten fully. Nice and controlled, nothing but the elbow moving. Okay, so that's the bicep curl. So what we're going to do, if you want, grab a chair, but what we're going to do is just knee up. So one arm and one leg. I'm going to bend that knee, working the hamstring, the back of the thigh. And then I'm bending that elbow, working the bicep, front upper arm. And you can only do, one arm at a time, one leg at a time, because you've got to stand on the band with the other foot. Enough weight, of course, that it's not going to, pop out from under your foot. You can do this without holding on. If you want to work on your balance too, don't hold on to anything. But again, just the elbow moving and just the knee moving, shifting your weight, as you stand. All right, take a break there. So what I'll do is I'm now going to switch to the other side. So kind of remember, where you stand will dictate how tough it is, where you stand on that band. So just kind of play around until you get just the right spot. Remember, we're going to shoot for a minute of work, so you don't want it too heavy to where after 30 seconds you're already failing. You want to be able to keep this up for the whole minute and want to be done by the end of that minute. All right, let's begin here. So you got your bicep curls and then the knee curl. And I'm just basically shifting my weight from both feet to one foot as I lift that back leg up as if I'm trying to kick myself in the rear. Just bending that knee as far as you can, and then bending your elbow as far as you can also. Controlled Don't let that rubber band pull you back down. Resist it. And again, hold on if you need to for balance, or if you want a little more of a challenge, don't hold on. But again, good posture. Relax those shoulders, slow and controlled. Head's looking forward, breathing, nice grip. 10 seconds. Almost there. All right, nice job there. Okay, so getting rid of your resistance tubing, clearing out your space. We have our last cardio. So I'll get rid of this chair. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. Remember, you can get going right away if you want. So we got about 22 seconds of little break here if you want it. Otherwise, get going right away on your cardio. I'm going to do some side stepping here. Some grab and pull down. How fast you go is up to you. Remember, whatever you need to do to get that heart rate elevated. Okay, here we go. And we got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Grabbing and pulling down. Working the shoulders, working those biceps, a little more of the back. Outside of the hips and thighs, doing some work on this. All right, just kind of a little point here, just pointing, and a little twist here with the toe tap. Keep it comfortable, no pain, no discomfort, just consistent motion, trying to get your heart and your breathing up. All right, do some kicking. Just kick forward. All right, let's switch here. Keep moving. I'm not kicking hard or anything, just kicking my leg out. All right, nice job. Let's go back to some side tapping here. Some scissors again. Elbows are tucked in, bent at about 90 degrees, palms are up, facing up. 25 seconds. Remember, the bigger movements you do, more muscles involved, the more breathing and air it takes. There you go. All right, a little bit of a tricep kickback here. And a toe tap for the last couple seconds. All right, nice job. Let's slow it up. Now we're going to cool down a little bit. We're going to add some balancing, some dynamic balance in as we cool down. So same kind of movements that we were doing with cardio and our warm-ups, just again slower here. We want to actively bring our heart rate back down below 100 beats per minute. Just trying to make things a little easier. A little shoulder blade squeeze here. I want to keep moving. I don't want to stop moving, but I want to move slow enough that it's not causing the heart rate to go up or the breathing to go up. Nice and easy. Great time to just grab some water, walk around while you drink. Just keep moving. We don't want to stop moving at all. All right, I'm going to do a little balance here. Shut this timer off. So first thing we're going to do is a tightrope walk, okay? So we're going to pretend like we have a tightrope that's about as wide as our hips. We're going to take a nice big step, real easy. Okay, real easy tightrope. Make sure you have a little bit of room to move around if you want. So what I'll do is I'm going to use a dumbbell. I'm going to bring it up and down in front of me as I walk the tightrope. Okay, maybe you take one step and then you turn around. It all depends on how big of a space you have. I can take a good 5 steps. All right, now I'm going to pretend this tightrope's a little thinner, so about as wide as 2 of my feet. And I'm going to walk with my feet a little closer together. Not quite heel to toe, but getting there. Okay, now I'm going to go backwards. Again, if you're going backwards, just know what's around you. How many steps you can take before you run into things. All right, and now I'm going to go and make this tightrope even thinner, so it's as wide as one of my feet, and I'm going to go heel to toe. I'm just going to hold the dumbbell out in front for now. Heel to toe. That's the toughest it's going to get as far as tightrope wise. And then of course, if you move your arms around, let's say I go forward and back. Okay, forward and back with the dumbbell. As I'm doing that heel to toe, it's going to work the balance and coordination at the same time. All right, backwards one more time. All right, nice job. Let's get rid of the dumbbell. So again, we're still moving, so it's it's helping our cool down, but we're not moving fast enough that the heart rate should be elevating. If you are, then move a little slower, make it easier for yourself. Okay. All right, so let's do some sleeping dog. So think about if you have a small Chihuahua sleeping, you're going to step over. Nice and easy. Maybe you have, say I've got 3 of them all lined up in a row. Okay. And now I'm going to step back over. Pretty easy with a small dog. Now I've got a larger dog, so now I've got to step a bigger step. Okay. And maybe I've got a Great Dane, so it's a really huge step. Whatever you can muster. Nice and easy. Okay. Now we got a dog that's about ready to wake up. So I go to step, and now I've got to freeze. And maybe I freeze for a second, or 2 seconds, or 5 seconds. Step and freeze. Into that single leg balance. Step and freeze. Don't want that dog to wake up. And now back over. And again, how big that dog is up to you. How big of a step you take. And then how long you freeze for. But we're working the balance here. One more time around. Whoops, forgot to freeze there. So step and then freeze. And one more. Step and freeze. All right, nice job. Great job with the balance. Should be cooled down decently. Well, let's finish off with some stretches. So first stretch, we're going to stretch the back of the thigh. So I'm going to squat down, lean forward slightly, hinge from the hips. Leg and toes are forward in front of me, pointing up and forward. And I'm just going to lean forward, digging in the heel on that front leg till I feel a stretch along the back of my thigh, behind my knee, maybe in the calf. Could be in the rump or the low back. You just want to feel that stretch, nice and gentle, no discomfort. Most of your weight's on this leg that you're standing on, of course. Let's try the other leg. Real gentle, no bouncing, no jerking. Keep breathing like normal. And then we try to hold a good 20 or 30 seconds if we can on a stretch. Really allow the body to relax. Let that muscle lengthen. Try to relax your thigh. Try not to flex it or anything. All right, nice job there. Next stretch, we're going to work the upper and middle back. So first we're going to pelvic tilt like we did with those the dumbbell presses laying on our back today. So that pelvic tilt where I thrust the hips forward. I'm going to squeeze the cheeks together on the rear. That low back is going to straighten out. And once I got that position, interlace my fingers together, push my hands away from my body as far as I can, rounding out the upper and middle back. Those wrists are bending. I can feel some stretch in my forearms also. Head is going to stay neutral. You're going to keep breathing. Just hold that position. Round out and stretch that upper and middle back. All right, one more stretch. So arms up here, 90-degree angle between the elbow and the hand and the armpit and the elbow. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go backwards. Bring those arms back, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Open up my chest and front shoulders. Keep breathing, nice deep breaths. You can lean back a little. Bring those hands together if you want a little bit more of a stretch, or behind your ears, whatever gives you a good stretch. And then let's straighten those elbows. Palms are up, thumbs are back. And again, open up real wide. Let's drop the fingers down. So we're going to stretch the wrists and palms of your hands, forearms, along with our chest. Keep breathing. All right, nice job. Give everything a little shake. Okay, thanks for being here. Nice workout today.